Okay, cool. As per usual, hello chat, and welcome to the new episode of the Roomba Fun. Today it is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas, Merry Crisis, Merry Chrysler to everyone that is already in Christmas, which I assume are Asian people, yeah, and Australian people. We might saw there in Austin, Merry Christmas. Anyway, I'm gonna go say hi to the boys. It seems like Bolt isn't able to join right now, so it's just gonna be Mina and Meep and I. So I'm going to go say hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Merry
They're
Christmas.
almost Grimace.
Merry Christmas
Merry
Eve.
Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. Merry Crisis.
Mary Chrysler.
Christmas. Happy Christmas. It's Christmas.
Just I can hear my stream. Someone else's stream.
Right.
Is a geek. But how's it going? It's been a minute because we didn't do Roomba last week because did we not do last week?
No, I think it was the week before we didn't do.
True. Yeah.
So here for Roomba last week though, so it's been a hot minute for me.
Mm. It's been I think it's been a hot minute for everyone.
Yeah, especially since I'm
Yeah.
down in the
All
desert.
the days are hot.
You're down in the dirt. Me, what happened?
Desert.
Oh, desert. I understood dirt. I thought you fell down and you ate shit. And
Hey,
like,
desert,
what
dirt,
happened?
it's almost the same thing.
Fair.
I am currently quite close to Mina actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because where I am is down in southern Cali. It's southeastern Cali instead of southwestern.
Yeah, baby.
Yo, Octo just raided us.
Oh shit! Hi, Octo. Oh my god.
Hi.
Okay, fine. The Pillarmen have awoken. Hello, Octo. I thought you were going to be streaming for longer, but wow. Okay, you just left.
Hey.
I just see 9, then immediately go back to 4.
Oh, Bolt just showed up. Yay.
Old is here.
Hey, there he is. Everyone's here now. Hi, Octo. Hi. No, I have dinner soon. I forget that you people have dinner at like ridiculously early times. It's 6
Time zone Octo
p.m.
in?
Same time zone as I
Octo.
am. Also 10
Oh.
viewers. Let's go, double digits.
Yo.
Yeah, baby.
Jimmy, it's not that he has dinner early, it's that you have dinner ridiculously late.
9 p.m. is a normal
Yes,
hour for dinner.
The
No,
6
it's
o'clock
not.
hour is when the 6 o'clock hour is when I have dinner. 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah, most people have dinner at 6 o'clock
Sometimes
because
7 o'clock hour.
6 p.m.
Yeah,
is
it's
tea
fine.
time. It's merienda time.
No, Jimmy. Jimmy, we're Americans. We don't. Or if we do, it's some kind of tea that specifically offends the British.
9 p.m. Bro, are you okay? I've had dinner at 11 p.m.
No,
9
that's
p.m. is
not
usually when
because
I
your
go
body,
to. 9
if you go to
p.m.
bed,
is when you put the
like,
children to bed.
yeah, that's
little
bedtime,
ones.
dude.
I go to
Actually,
bed at
mine-
1
my-
a.m.
Okay,
When I was
but
younger,
still-
my bedtime was 8:30.
When I was younger, my bedtime was 10:30.
Bruh.
If the latest was 10, sometimes I just had to sneak up and get awake though because I was bad at doing homework. But yeah, most people go to bed at 9 and people
Cool.
eat around 6 o'clock. The latest you're supposed to eat is 8 o'clock at night.
Okay then, these are
medically
news
recommended.
to me.
Medically recommended, do not eat past 8 o'clock.
Why?
If you go to sleep at a regular time, your food is still digesting, so it keeps you awake.
I mean, that's the thing. If I
No,
eat at 10 p.m. and I go to sleep at 1 a.m., the food would have been digested.
Yeah, you know, your schedule's just fucked, my dude. Merry
No,
Christmas.
if you want messed up me, my sibling, their ideal sleep schedule, like when they're home for the holidays. My father speaks to this because my father, for work, has to get up relatively early because he leads a team that's mostly in Romania.
Great.
admittedly. So he like joins in or whatever, somewhat early. I don't know the exact time, but the point is, it's pretty early in the morning, and it's. Are you familiar with the meme? I think it's for like Ben High Castle. Where it's the two people looking at each other confused as they pass each other in the cars. You know what I'm
Yes,
talking
I
about?
think, yes, I know exactly. People that go to sleep at 6 a.m., people that wake up at 6 a.m.
Basically, exactly that. It's my father getting up in the morning to go to work, my sibling going to bed.
Yep.
Oscar says Dutch tradition is 5 p.m. dinner. Okay, that's a little bit early.
That,
Okay.
sometimes I've had
What?
lunch at 5 p.m.
Bruh.
Dude,
Like-
what time do you have breakfast?
9 a.m.
If you have breakfast at all. 9
I don't.
a.m.
I don't have breakfast. Usually.
9, 10 a.m. Sometimes it's more brunch, but sometimes 11 a.m. But that's rare.
Usually, I don't eat breakfast mainly because, I assure you, I do not need the caloric intake.
I don't eat the breakfast because eating breakfast too soon in the morning makes me nauseous.
I just eat a bowl of cereal and milk, lately with a bit of honey on the milk, so to help my throat.
Have you ever tried warming up the milk in your cereal? And then,
Griff, my man, what is wrong with you people? 9 p.m. is when the evening starts to get good, my man. If I have breakfast, it's at 1 p.m.,
It
so it's
depends on
lunch,
what you
bruh.
Oh, okay, hold on, Jimmy. Important question. Which
Yep.
order does the milk and the cereal go into the bowl?
A bowl first. Depends actually. Depends on the kind of cereal. Because if I have, because if I want to warm up, like have a warm breakfast, I put milk first and heat it up, then put the cereal. If it's cold, it doesn't really matter. I can put cereal and milk first, cereal first or milk first.
put the milk first in the bowl. I'm assuming you're microwaving the milk with the honey
Yeah.
in.
And microwaving the milk only, not with honey. I put the honey later to mix it.
Yeah, do not microwave honey. I don't
No,
know why.
I-
My mom just tells me not to do it, and who am I to question her?
No, I have a tendency to not do that either. Like I just microwave the milk.
Got schedules. I was asking Neat this earlier. What time do you guys open your presents on Christmas?
I don't.
Oh,
It's a long story. We can explain that actually. We can explain weird Christmas traditions, I guess, because my family, we don't have Christmas. Like, yeah, we celebrate Christmas, as in we gather up in Christmas, but we don't open up presents in Christmas.
you open them.
The 6th of January.
Dia de los Reyes?
Okay.
Yep, El Día de los Reyes.
Oh, I see. So you open it when the kings actually arrive.
Yep.
Eh?
So Dia de los Reyes is a Catholic holiday. It is Three Kings Day. So it is supposed to represent when the three kings finally actually arrive.
You know, the Mage Kings.
The baby Jesus is a
Yeah.
major.
Okay. I'm not super familiar with Bible lore, with Jesus lore.
Jesus Lord.
So, when Jesus was born in the manger, with Joseph and Mary, it is said that three kings arrived by following a star, led by God to bestow gifts upon the baby.
Jesus Lord,
I don't
indeed.
remember. Yeah, Jesus Lord. So it said that they dropped off some gifts for Jesus, but because it took them a long time, we celebrated January 6th, which
Yeah.
is a couple days late. It's kind of like the same way that the little drummer boy knew where the fuck to go.
So basically what it is as soon as Jesus was born, they got the signal to go there. However, this was, like 3 BC. They have to travel on foot.
On camel. They traveled on camel.
True. It is the Middle East.
But yeah, we don't. I mean, if there are like family members that do come for Christmas and they give us presents, we do open them then. Sometimes we open them on Christmas Eve too. It's been a weird tradition, but like generally, if it's just a family gathering of all five of us, We open presents the 6th of January.
Fair
Which
enough.
I'm going to be real, I thought it was the 7th of January for the longest fucking time because it would have made sense. You know, a week after Jesus was born, or like at the end of the week where Jesus was born, the kings arrive. But nope. It's the 6th. Like,
2 weeks after born, allegedly. Jesus wasn't even born in fucking Christmas Eve. They just did that to appropriate the holiday. He was born
Of course.
sometime
Yeah,
in
they
December.
did it to appropriate Yule.
Yep,
Yeah.
as per usual.
He was born
Christian
sometime in the
lore.
summer.
Christian lore.
Everything I've learned about religion, I have learned against my will.
Mud.
Look, there are some things in religious books that are funny. Like, objectively, like, funny or, like, good bits, but...
Like yelling at a fig tree that he needs good figs, even though they were out of season.
Or things like how the people go to Jesus like, well, the woman dress scandal, say, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, bitch, that's a you problem.
Shut your eyes, dude.
If you can't stop staring at them, gouge out your eyes. That's a you problem.
Damn.
If you can't keep your hands
As
to
per
yourself, cut off
usual,
hands.
huh, Griff?
That's a you problem. And the other thing about religion that's fairly consistent is how consistently people use it for their own gain and just kind of say they follow it but really don't. However, that's a conversation for another time. That will upset people.
Very.
And on the topic of religion, though, going to the idea box, Mina has Pope Francis is now allowing priests to bless gay people.
Yeah, baby, Pope Francis W. Come on, Pope. Actually, come on, Pope Francis W. That is like the best Pope we've had in recent years.
Hold on, let me pull up the article.
Also, shoutouts to Pope Francis because he's Argentinian. He talks Spanish.
Yeah, because he's Argentinian.
Yeah, we appreciate our Spanish talking people.
We do. He also said that aliens are allowed in the Christian church or in the Catholic Church. So there's that.
That's funny. That's funny. That's based. That's very funny.
Dude, my friend Soto, if like aliens had been discovered by now, she would have clapped them alien cheeks. She would have gotten herself an alien husband and would have gotten married at the church.
Look, Mina, the way I know we haven't like gotten like UFOs, alien UFO stash anywhere. Is if they were, they would have been leaked on the War Thunder forums by now.
Hold on, okay. So, Pope Francis has granted his formal approval allowing Catholic priests to bless same-sex couples so long as they do not appear to endorse their marriage, marking the church's most permissive decree yet on the issue of same-sex couples.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Okay, hold on. Wait, explain that.
Sounds like I'm reading the article. So, Catholic priests to bless the same-sex couples as long as they do not appear to endorse their marriage. So they can't be smiling and shit like they would at a normal wedding. The declaration, published Monday in a note document called Fiducia Supplicans on the pastoral gleaning of blessings, marks a major departure on the part of the Vatican, which only 2 years ago had said God cannot bless sin in a controversial 2021 decision about same-sex couples. Monday's document was approved by Pope Francis. Still, the Vatican stressed that the marriage remains exclusively between a man and a woman, and any priests granting a blessing to a same-sex couple must avoid any form of confusion or scandal that would suggest otherwise. And now
So,
NPR
from
is
my-
asking to pay ads.
I saw someone talk about this, and from my understanding of what a lot of it is, one of the core bits of Catholicism is that sin is a thing everyone does. However, the whole point of it is there's like the confession or whatever, and sins forgiven kind of thing. So it's more kind of like being more consistent of you individual being gay, sin, whatever. However, that doesn't mean, you know, you're just evil, because that's not how it works under the system. So it's more like being more consistent on that bit of the tenant, I think, is how it was described to me by this person I was watching something on. It's just stuff. Book written 2,000 years ago.
More or less, when you confess, you are saying, yes, I am a sinner. However, I am giving myself to God in order to help absolve my sins. Essentially, right? But Pope Francis, according to this article, says, or was it? Where was it? Where is it? Still, the Vatican stress. No. Francis, 87, has made liberalization towards LGBTQIA Catholics a hallmark of his papacy. Since he became Pope in 2013, he has urged the decriminalization of homosexuality. When asked in 2013 about gay priests, he famously replies, "If someone is gay and he searches for the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge?" Which, talk your shit, kid.
Like, look, my job.
Oh my god,
is
he's
to
been a pope for 10
to
years
God.
already?
I know, right? We're old.
Damn, time flies.
Let's see. The Declaration recognizes the deep desires in many Catholic same-sex couples for God's presence in their loving relationships, Martin wrote on social media site Twitter. I'm not going to call it X.
Thank you.
No one's gonna call it X.
No one calls
one's
it X in here.
They call it X.
It's
No one
Twitter.
is.
No one. Quote, in short,
Twitter.
yesterday as a Christian, I was forbidden to bless same-sex couples at all. Today, with some limitations, I can. The Declaration remains, and as a separate quote, this declaration remains firm on the traditional doctrine of the Church about marriage, not allowing any type of liturgical, rite or blessing similar to a liturgical rite that can create confusion. It is precisely in this context that one can understand the possibility of blessing couples with irregular convictions and same-sex couples without officially validating their status or changing in any way the Church's perennial teaching on marriage.
That's basically the core of the thing that was I saw someone explaining. It's not like changing anything that's actually, it's like changing the interpretation to be more in line with the general interpretation of how sin works in the Church.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of specifically singling out gay as super sin.
Right.
Which, you know, no.
Okay. What's next?
Next up.
Hold on. Next, we can either do the first thing I have in there, or we can stay on the topic of gay with the gay sex in the Senate.
I can go over the gay sex in the Senate. I did pull up the article.
Let's do that.
Let's do that because that's just
gay.
funny.
And
Okay.
then we'll go back to the top.
This has last been updated as of December 18th, 2023. So, there was a senator's staffer having gay sex in the Senate hearing room.
Okay.
And
As
there's
you
an
do.
there is an 8-second clip of it floating around online.
Okay.
So here's this article written by Chad Le Guzman. Capitol Hill was rocked over the weekend by the circulation of an explicit video of two men apparently having sex in the congressional hearing room. The 8-second pornographic clip, first posted Friday evening by right-wing media website The Daily Caller, was reportedly leaked from a private group chat for gay men in politics. The report, which did not name the participant and blurred a face that appeared in the video, claimed it was congressional staffer in the sex tape and identified the setting as room 216 in the Hart Senate Office building. The Spectator, a conservative British magazine, reported hours earlier that an unnamed staffer for Senator Ben Cardin, Democrat from Maryland, had publicly shared a series of indecent photos and videos of himself engaging in gay sex in the so-called hallowed halls of Congress.
Why?
The description of one photo in particular bore resemblance to the video shared by the Daily Caller. They did identify the staffer as Aiden Mays Zeroprowski. Russian, and he is an aide for Senator Cardin. And on Friday night, Cardin's office had said that Aiden Mays Zirovsky is no longer employed by the U.S. Senate. We will have
course
no
not.
further comment on this personal matter. And the senator himself has spent 4 decades in Congress, and he planned to retire in May.
Yeah, honest.
U.S. Senator, 4 decades in Congress, sounds about right.
The one in question, Satrowski, has been quoted as saying on their LinkedIn, "This has been a difficult time for me as I've been attacked for who I love to pursue a political agenda. While some of my actions in the past have shown poor judgment, I love my job and would never disrespect my workplace." Dude, you were clapping cheeks.
You were doing that in the job.
But why?
My actions otherwise are fabricated, and I will be exploring what legal options are available to me in these matters. What legal options? I mean, I guess, like, revenge porn would technically be the name of this, if it was made by a political opponent. Especially if this was taken out.
I think he's more focusing on claiming it's like slander against him, that he wouldn't do it there, because that's stupid.
If you mean slander, that's not gonna work. I'm sorry. If you are going to do it for videotaping you, like, without your consent, maybe you've got a case. And then Fox News and a bunch of Republicans have been clowning on the Democratic Party because of this.
Well, it needs something to clown them on that is maybe slightly not made up for once.
Responding to the reports that the lewd act took where Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Democrat of Minnesota, sits in the hearing room in question, a room that also hosted the 9/11 Commission hearings 20 years ago. It held former FBI Director James Comey's historic testimony on Donald Trump in 2017, as well as several confirmation hearings for Supreme Court Justice nominees, including Sonia Sotomayor and Brett Kavanaugh. Representative Mike Collins, a Republican from Georgia, posted a photo of cleaning wipes at the grocery store with the caption, "Christmas shopping for Senator Klobuchar."
The reason Americans generally detest federal politics.
Yep. Madison Cawthorn, a former congressional staffer turned one-term congressman who alleged in 2022, before he lost his re-election bid, that Washington is rife with sexual perversion, posted on Twitter. "I told you."
I told you.
Epstein Island list or whatever. I don't know.
We have a bunch of things that we wanted to talk with Mina from last time we had Roomba because she wasn't there.
Yeah, let's go back and do some of those.
Yep.
Let's go some a little bit further than that.
So, oh yeah, my students are racism. Mina,
Oh,
are your students saying the N-word?
not quite.
Like the moment I read that, that's like
I just had to ask out the gates.
Okay, so
Yeah, but like
For my
you can tell as well the
Oh, Devil
like,
Man.
that's to say like it's a shocking class. Just
for my
shocking.
students, I have this game that we played. So I was teaching them how colors have different definitions depending on the context you're using them. So what we did is we took colors and we named a bunch of different characteristics of those colors, right? So if I said the color blue, what are some things that you think of?
I am the water.
I am on the water.
I would also think of the water.
It's such a good name. But you would think of
And also
water,
fish.
cold,
Fat fish.
cold,
fish.
what are them? Sadness.
Oh, that's so much.
You're talking about characters who have the blue.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
so it was a
Genre of music.
True.
Mhm.
There's the Blue Man Group. There's the
Wins
sky.
music.
Being blue da dee da da.
Da, 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 da.
If I were green, I would die. That would be the first guy. But
Does
yeah, so
anyone actually know what the lyrics for that song are?
yeah, it's just gibberish. It's just they're just standing there. Hello, blue hills with a blue window. Anyway, so that's basically what we do with the students. I would say a
Color
color.
theory.
We would write down. Yeah, we're going over color theory in terms of character design. I made the mistake calling out the color black,
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
and then there's this child with blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh my. Oh my god.
Right? First of all, I was focused on my two girls because they were both arguing over who was going to draw Wednesday Adams.
Wednesday Adams.
Yeah.
Oh, like the Addams Family. Okay.
Yes. Sorry, emergencies.
Police are here. They're coming to arrest you for your racism.
So
Yes.
there's this child, blonde hair, blue eyes, and he says, I just hear him say, "I'm not trying to be racist."
Oh no.
I have a timer going.
Never a good start.
Never a good start. I look over, and he had drawn the black night sky, yellow stars. We had drawn a black cat, and we had described black as spooky. We had described it as a void. We had described it as cold. The space is also really black. And then he draws a black man with an afro. So he doesn't draw like a caricature, but it's just like, come on, guy.
People aren't even actually black.
No, they're not. It's brown skin, my guy. Brown is the color of warm coffee or hot chocolate.
Color of dirt.
Color of dirt and being earthy, right?
Color of eating shit.
But motherfucker, you are 8. What are you talking about? This is the same child who, when during Halloween, I told scary stories for the kids because they fucking love that shit. And he comes up to me after class ends. He's like, you know, it'd be really scary if Biden had a second term. And I'm
Huh?
like, huh?
What?
Bro, you're 8.
Where did
You
that
don't
come from?
care.
Motherfucker, you are 8.
I don't think you are fully capable of understanding. Like, my guy, I agree, Biden ain't exactly great, but...
I know we settled for Biden, but oh my god.
It really kind of is, we settled for him. He is not popular. I
I'm not
have
sure
some
if
serious
it's
issues
true,
with his
like,
policies. But it
He
seems like
is-
his opponent's gonna be Trump, who's a fascist,
It
so...
looks like his opponent is banned from being voted for in several states, though.
In Colorado. Which, let's be real, doesn't matter. However, that is a topic for later.
And, yeah, this kid, he's like, he's been too long on the internet.
Yep.
I cannot tell you how many Among Us memes he's made.
Bogus. Orange was ejected. That was the first thing I did, by the way, after I found out the election result, is I found an orange was ejected thing that had been edited to be like Trump's look and sent it to my mother. Anyway,
Very nice. So that's
moving
my kids'
on.
advice. Although the fourth graders are much more racist to each other.
Man, I was eating some Takis today, and they're like extra spicy for no reason.
Mia, what is the Oz Media fundraiser?
Are any of you familiar with the Illuminati situation that's been happening on YouTube?
The what?
Illuminati. Who is a YouTuber? That's the YouTube name. Not The
Ah.
Illuminati.
I am aware of that name, yes.
Yes.
I don't think I am.
Illuminati is, or she was most known for her expose videos. She was known for her series Corporate Casket, where she would call out companies for their horrible business practices. As it turns out, there is a whole lore behind her. I could go over a quick summary of it, but she is known as a grifter, and she's also She's also known to be extremely toxic to work with. So she started off with Tommy C, who makes more right-leaning comedy, right, making fun of the SJWs. She was on his stuff, and you can see her face, so she's face is public knowledge. And she would make unsavory jokes, and she reportedly left because she was sick of somebody. She was sick of a fat joke made by the guy, but that wasn't what happened. Somebody made a fat joke towards another dude, and it wasn't even the guy she was upset with. Throwing a hissy fit for nothing. And she went and deleted videos off of his channel, with her included. Second thing she did is she started going into the anti-MLM movement, and she started allegedly she had stolen information from this YouTuber known as Cruel Old Happy Mind, who has excellent content. I loved her creep show art coverage, and Debbie Cannon coverage was pretty good too. So stealing some of her content, Cruel Old Happy Mind went to Illuminati and said, "Hey, I'm getting accusations that you were plagiarizing my content from my comment section. Can we just talk it out? I wanted to see this for myself." Blair, also who's Illuminati, ignored that, talked shit about her on a podcast, and then threatened to do a live stream. All while Cruel was pregnant in a much smaller channel than she was.
Rude.
Anyway,
Rude.
so Blair went from political commentary to Reddit channel.
Oh, boy.
She also she accused r slash of trying to swat her.
R/ what?
She accused r slash, the Reddit YouTuber, of using bots for his channel and of trying to swat her.
Bruh.
And it's like, dude, the reason his channel grew so big is because his name is literally just r slash. People are going to be looking up r slash content when they're looking up Reddit stuff. It's just an algorithm thing.
Up the name before anyone else could.
Yeah, he was just lucky that way. And so she went from political commentary on the right side, Reddit, anti-MLM, corporate casket, and it's about that time that she was doing Reddit. She met these other YouTubers known as One Topic, Wonderstruck, Ozmedia, and The Click, all of which are Reddit YouTubers. And they had this channel.
Watch The Click. He's good. He's
love
funny.
Yeah.
Emotional support, D.
The emotional support group is so good. I wish you could have got one. And they started this channel called Sad Milk together. And Sad Milk was just a collab channel. They would react to Reddit content, and they would do IRL stuff. And Blair somehow made herself the manager because she, according to herself, or according to witnesses, said that her personality was boring compared to the others, so she'll just run the business stuff.
Oh, wow.
On everybody's end. Because she is a nightmare boss. And every single corporation that she had called out for mistreating their workers, for, a company town, all that other shit, apparently she took notes, because she did all of that shit to her friends. Right? She was trying to
Wow, sounds like someone was being hypocritical.
By, like, having all of her friends move to where she is, and essentially being in charge of their vehicles, being in charge of their paychecks, being in charge of, their living situations.
Bruh, you are a YouTuber.
According to her, she
Oh,
made
hungry
enough
nut?
money that she could just retire right now. right? Because at the time she was over 1 million subscribers.
She should have retired when she could.
Allegedly regularly went to the BMW dealership, and people have been clowning on her for that because she has like this weird obsession with BMWs.
Why?
I mean,
Of
they're
all
good
vehicle
cars.
brands, BMW.
What's wrong with BMW?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just seems like a weird choice of brand to be obsessed over.
I mean, not really.
Yes, I guess she just like really likes Persona. I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
Persona 4
if
is
you're gonna
still
be
reminiscent
obsessed
of
over a
BMW.
car brand,
at least
you're
make it
gonna
a
do like one of the
Japanese
niche
brand.
brands or one of the high-end brands.
I mean, I've seen people
It's
obsessed with Nissan, mostly because of the '90s Nissans or Mazda.
I mean, imagine like, oh yeah, I've got a bunch of disposable income. I'm gonna go simp for Ford.
You get a Ford GT.
Ooh, she's live right now. No, she's not. But oh no, she's not.
Anyway, circling back to Oz,
Sorry, going back to
that's the thing that was actually in the.
yeah. So hold on, there's still more context. So to explain how terrible of a person she is, she managed to get Wonderstruck and Oz Media to live in the same house as her, and is in charge of all that stuff. She essentially, she was dating Oz Media at the time, and she managed
Oh wait,
to
Oz
get
Media is a person, not a company.
Oz Media is a person. They are also a Reddit channel.
Oh. Oz Media just sounded like a company.
Okay. So we've got uh hyper micromanaging, but also then mix in we're dating one of the people they were hyper micromanaging. All right, this is
Yes, and I need to remind you, they were they were in charge of Sad Milk as a company, so they were also paying the people they were micromanaging, while also being charged, or essentially eventually going to charge them rent, and also was the name on the loan for the vehicle for Wonderstruck. So Wonderstruck was living with her, was getting paid from her, and then had to pay her for the car that he did not ask for. But he had a contract with. He left the state of Colorado to go visit his dad, and Blair said that on his contract he was not allowed to reside anywhere other than Colorado while he's had the car. So she went in the middle of the night to repossess the car.
Huh?
She took the car, and Wonder at this point was living out of the car because he could no longer stand living with Oz Media and Blair. And he had his clothes, he had camera, he had equipment, he had his play buttons for Sad Milk and his own channel in that car, and she threw out all of it. Never tried to. They have a case in small claims court trying to get that stuff back.
it's
But she
small
threw out-
claims.
Yeah, or claims court, whatever that is.
I
guess-
have a feeling the value of that stuff, knowing the value of like camera equipment, especially high-end camera equipment, good YouTube you just want to get. I think that falls outside the realms of small claims.
Isn't it? You have to make.
Oh,
it has
I'm not certain where that line is.
I
Lawyer,
believe it's
criminal justice
5,000
student.
in California. Don't know where it is in Colorado. But yeah,
Anyway,
so that's what happened to Wonder. For the Click, she accused the Click of being a kitty diddler sympathizer because
Hooray.
she claimed that there was a less than savory individual in his server, and he did not ban that individual immediately. In fact, this individual stayed in there until one of her own mods, who double modded, banned them. And that wasn't the case. The Click was quite literally in bed at 2 a.m. unconscious. He could not have banned that individual at all. but also he showed
Right.
evidence of the individual being banned shortly after they started talking about the things that they did. And it was later revealed to the clique that Blair had been harassing himself and One Topic on a burner account called Doobie Schmertz,
Huh?
Right.
trying to continue the narrative that they are both sympathizers of that sort of shit.
I'm
And
Well,
now
so
we get back.
confused.
Blair's burns every bridge she touches. That's the gist of it. Now to circle this back around to Oz Media, because she is his main abuser, right? She has abused him the most for the longest amount of time. And according to Oz, even though legally his name is on the house belongs to her because she asked him to come into an office with her lawyer. He could not afford legal representation. She knew that because she paid him. And he essentially had the house under her name, and she's allowed to foreclose on it. And so when all of the drama shit broke out after, she accused a copyright lawyer of stealing her shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
She started foreclosing on his home, and it was set to foreclose by Christmas.
right.
So Oz Media did his best to work to get the money in order to get what he's called a cure fund, and he finally did a live stream for it about a week ago to try and get money just to save his house. And he was expecting to do several streams on for a week. He was expecting to have to dress like a femboy Hooters maid
Huh?
for these streams. That right? He was expecting to have to do a bunch of shit just to try and get enough money for his home. And the internet collectively said, bet. And he reached his goal of $10,000 in 30 minutes.
30!
The internet
Why
collectively,
not?
the internet collectively said, "Fuck this bitch."
Yeah,
That's great.
collectively, they said, fuck this bitch.
That
So
that like
he's
has the
able.
same that has the same kind of vibe of like the charity Minecraft championships or whatever. It's like yeah, we had to raise the goal because all the Technoblade millionaires beat the goal before the stream even started.
Yeah, actually. So Oz Media managed to raise the $10,000 he needed to save his home in 20 or so minutes. And you can still see the stream live on his channel. He was just crying the entire time. And people donated in mass to both him with super chats and on his GoFundMe for legal representation.
That's great.
And
Okay.
Yeah,
it was
because
fantastic.
reminder everyone, if there's one thing there's two powers in the world you don't want to upset. Well, three. They are the corporate mafia, the United States government, and the internet. Not in that order.
The mafia not so much anymore. It's still there, but it's
Well,
not as relevant.
it's specifically the corporate mafia, Jimmy.
Ah.
This- Trust me, you do not want to call down the corporate lawyers upon yourself.
Um.
But yeah, so for the first 30 or so minutes of the live stream, you can just see Oz is just crying. And then the live stream is about 7 hours long, about. And in that time, he raised triple his original amount.
Trip. Oh my god, that's great.
My man's raised $32,000 on his GoFundMe. That's not even including the super chats, because he doesn't get that till January. And there were so many people super chatting at a time that the bot broke.
Oh my god.
He has a bot that reads out super chats for him, and it broke. It was so far behind that 3 hours in, it was finally getting to the super chats that were made in those initial 30 minutes.
Wow.
Wow. It's not it breaking, that's just the backlog was so long.
It was a huge backlog. And he managed to play Lethal Company with his old friends again. He played it with One Topic. He played it with Damien Lee. Played it with Wonderstruck, and the click was in the chat too. So it was very nice to see that even though they were all abused by the same person, they're back together again.
Like, fuck this bitch. The rest of y'all are cool, though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of, okay, I'll wait until Mina's story ends because I
No,
just
I'm done.
remember. Okay, I just remembered something recently. Have you guys heard of Joe Cat?
Joe Cat.
No.
Joe Cat.
I like girls. Has no one really seen the video I like girls?
No.
Huh. Give me a moment. If it's still here, because
Illuminati's highest view video is about 2,883,000 video views, and currently she is raking in about 218,000 views. Just so you guys get the scale of how big she was versus now.
Ooh.
maybe okay here. It's in general. Just, you know, funny little animation of a boy talking about interests. And for some reason, just like the Twitter has just absolutely gone down on him just because of that. Like, he didn't start any drama. No, just because of this silly little video that I just sent you guys on journal chat. And
Why has Twitter decided this man is evil?
I have no idea.
Because he was horny on Maine?
I guess.
If so, Twitter, that's
Like,
very
it's like
hypocritical of you.
It's like even like people that are like defending him, like big people, they're like, this guy's like the sweetest dude in the world. He does not deserve this fucking hate.
Like, literally, Twitter, you're upset at a man for being horny on Maine. This is Twitter.
He's horny on me here. Some to
Yeah,
other people's
it's-
detriment.
Yeah, internet. Why are you upset at someone for being vaguely horny? Internet. Do I need to list 34 reasons why that's hypocritical?
It's like
Anyway.
the video is also like fucking adorable. Like first comment from 5 days ago. This is what people are hating over: a guy liking women and not having any bias whatsoever where they look like, a guy being super body positive towards girl of every shape and size. Took on with some people being terminally online and desperately needing to touch grass. Joka does not deserve to be harassed over a harmless parody video. As a bisexual girl, I can attest that I too like big... The...
Big girls, the itty bitty girls.
And then edit, yup, some of these replies are giving a lovely demonstration as to why some people need to go touch grass. Venturing at your own risk, people. And she has 245 answers.
Oh my god.
So, you know...
People are permanently online. Moving on.
Yeah, it's just sad.
Mina got given Marmite.
I got given Marmite. No, it was a light priority one. I haven't eaten it. I was gonna eat it on stream, but I've decided against it.
Oh,
So you haven't
okay.
tasted it yet.
No.
I'll
I
remove the
refuse.
check mark then.
Oh, am I going to still eat it eventually on stream?
I don't know.
I'll do it if you guys do it with me.
I have none. Oh yeah.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, what else is... oh, there's nothing on Oz Media. Was that kind of mixed in with the first thing on him? Should I mark that off too?
Yeah.
Something from Reddit.
Oh yeah, another low priority one. That one was just funny. I don't even remember what the fuck that was.
Fair enough. Moving on. Captain Sparkle's leaving Minecraft.
Yeah,
his name.
so yeah, he made a video saying that he will no longer be doing Reddit content. or not Reddit content, sorry. I have Reddit on the brain now. He will no longer be doing Minecraft gameplay on his main channel, which is kind of sad, especially because he's known for the creeper. Oh man.
Yeah,
Even
like
Sparkles, unless I'm mistaken, is like the only of the like classic
OG.
Minecraft YouTubers who's still in the game.
Who still hasn't
Not
died.
yeah, whose channel hasn't just collapsed. I think like Asian Canadian is still sort of around. Like that's about it.
Yeah. So he was going to finish up the Let's Play that he was currently on. 2 weeks ago, he made a video called Retiring. You know, he's only going to be retiring, Minecraft. And he still has some Minecraft videos past that, so it's kind of funny. He did release a Minecraft music video about 23 hours ago called Find the Pieces. But
Did they remaster that or something? Because that's an old
yeah,
video.
it's a remix. It's a remix.
Okay.
And yeah, the final Let's Play has just been completed as of 2 days ago.
The end,
of an era.
the final end of the original era.
Mm-hmm.
F's in the chat.
F's in the chat. Captain Sparkles.
Anyway,
Hmm?
after that, the police.
Which one was that one?
LMPD police officer arrested fired hours after graduating from academy.
Okay, so this motherfucker was arrested on a DUI because he was drinking after he graduated from the from the police academy.
Damn.
Literally, graduation was that day, and he hit cars in
And
the parking
one
lot.
job,
Bruh.
literally.
He hadn't even
get out of
started
the
his
parking
job.
lot.
He didn't even wait long enough to even
He
start.
graduated the academy and then hit cars on his way out of the parking lot. Oh, but...
He
God.
literally had one job and he fit. Wow.
No, he
He
didn't
didn't
even
even
have
get a
one
job
job
yet.
yet.
Oh wow.
He was going to have a job, but he failed before even starting it. Damn.
Oh my god. At least it was
Because
only
graduate-
it was like a DUI or something, not something worse.
What's the DUI?
Driving under the influence
Do
of
it yourself.
drunk driving, weed driving.
Yeah, why do it yourself?
Just driving while impaired.
Okay.
Driving under the influence of drugs.
Motherfucker had
alcohol.
not waited long enough to even make the connections to get away with it.
Yeah.
Onision's bankrupt. What the fuck is Onision?
Onision is a YouTuber who has been around since the platform started, and he's been a plague on it ever since.
Oh.
So this is good news then.
Yes, this is good news. Onision. God, I have to recap Onision lore too.
Yes.
Make it brief.
TLDR.
To be fair, I don't know how brief I can make it because this guy's been around since 2006.
Oh my god.
Onision is best known for his I'm a Banana video. He's also known for being a militant vegetarian and being the
Militant
world's
vegetarian.
biggest asshole.
Oh no.
And being the world's biggest asshole. He is a smug narcissist.
Wait,
And,
he's the I'm a banana. I'm a banana.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Oh my god.
Also, Jimmy, for context of how old this guy's YouTube has to be, it predates Team Fortress 2.
Yep.
Oh.
That makes it officially old.
Prehistoric. Older than kid.
He has a he used to collaborate with Shane Dawson when Shane Dawson was first starting, and they have a video kissing.
Ooh. Ooh.
Shane Dawson.
Ooh.
Shane
Uh,
Dawson.
Chin
I
Dawson, he's
repeat,
one of
who
the.
the
That's not what
fuck
he's
is
saying.
that?
He's saying, ooh.
I'm trying to figure out how to explain that to you without having to go on another tangent.
All right, never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, Shane Dawson
Some
has a career
person.
as long as that. Um, but he's also they've both been canceled for grooming. Onision more
Ah, yeah,
so.
this bitch.
Yes,
Okay, and
but you being
We
born. What the
compare
fuck?
Kiraku's pit chat. We comparing things being old by me being born.
You were born in 2006, my guy.
he
Oh my
is
god, fetus.
he is 14, so
Fetus.
He
baby.
really is, baby.
Okay, so trying to think. So Onision over the years has
He's
had
a young
multiple
zoomer.
partners on the channel. He has three separate channels: Uh-Oh Bro, Onision Speaks, and Onision, the base channel. But there's absolutely nothing different in between. Onision was initially canceled for his weird stances on like the military and women's rights, not because he doesn't support them, but because he supports them for the wrong reasons.
Oh,
Onision also has military experience. He was in the Air Force for a while, but he was um, discharged with full honor under honorable conditions, which is apparently very different from being honorably discharged, according to other military people who have reacted to this discharge. And but he keeps lying about it, saying he was full like had the had the opportunity to go full Green Beret, and he didn't because he didn't want to kill an animal. He was
bruh.
mostly known for uh, the way he treats young women. On his Onision Speaks channel, he has regularly uh, criticized and rated the girls on who submit photos on their forum, on his forum, to specifically for the purpose of being rated. Most of which, however, ended up being underage because he appeals to the scene emo kids who are about 12 to 16 years of age.
Bruh.
He has regularly criticized YouTuber Eugene Cooney, who is known for having a severe not mental disorder, eating disorder, to the point where she is skeletal, but like in a way that is detrimental to mental health, so it's counterproductive. And back to the grooming girls thing. Yeah, so he would regularly have 14-year-olds and such submit their bodies, mostly nude. It like they have their undergarments on, but that's about it. To rate their bodies, and he would rate them extremely harshly, to the point where it's just like, what the fuck, dude? That's a kid. It is
Bruh.
very
Bruh.
nice. And currently, he is in a lawsuit with one of those girls who started as a fan, and he eventually, because of home life issues, they ended up living with him and his spouse, Kai, who was known as Lanybot at the time, who he met when she was 16 years old and married her sometime after that. Even though her father was just like, yo, what the fuck? No, you can't marry my underage daughter.
Bitch, I'm a YouTube celebrity. I can do what I want.
Mm-hmm. Basically. And so, a couple years ago, like in 2020, he was having these breakdowns because he was allegedly going broke because his Patreon had been discontinued because he doxed somebody's phone number. The person in question is named Sarah, who is the one who's holding the lawsuit against him for all of the shit he's done to her. There's like 3 right opinion videos on it. You want to get the full context. But now, because of all these lawsuits, and because he also owes a bunch of money to the government because he hasn't been paying his taxes correctly, motherfucker's broke.
Don't fuck with the IRS.
Yeah, don't fuck with the IRS.
They're in
He's
Joker
also
fucks with the IRS.
Not even the Joker fucks with the
I
IRS.
love how both of us went for the same thing.
Granted, that's because the Joker knows you can't get away with it because insanity is not a valid defense for tax fraud.
not. Anyway,
Anyway,
so yeah, we celebrate that Onion Man is going makeup.
Yeah, baby.
Non-spoiler talk about the last Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heroine.
The Boy and the Heron was so fucking good. Oh my god, I went to go see it on my birthday with my partner.
I don't think I've ever seen a Ghibli movie.
You need to. Oh my god, they'll change your life.
I think the only one I've seen is I saw My Neighbor Totoro.
My Neighbor Totoro is very good. It's a very good mental breakdown movie when you're about on the edge and you need something to calm you down. My favorites include Castle in the Sky, which Dio got me a necklace for.
Princess
for
Mononoke is one of the movies.
Princess Mononoke is one of my favorite ones, yes. And I really liked Ponyo. But Porco Rosso is close up there too. I've seen almost every single Ghibli movie. So when we went to go watch The Boy and the Heron, it was a pleasant surprise. And he and I, we are screaming because we were watching this movie the entire time. It's another circa World War II movie. But it's very good, very fantastical. And the way we cackled in the theater when we found out who voiced the Heron, even though we were joking that he sounds like Waluigi, was so fucking funny. I don't know. Yeah, it just sounds like Waluigi. And when we saw the name was Robert Patterson, we just died. I don't know what else to like describe about the movie.
I mean, you could
But
give
it was
us
a
a synopsis.
So a boy in the very beginning of the movie, we find out that he lost his mother during World War II when the hospital was bombed. She was staying at the hospital at the time. So the father marries this younger sister because apparently was pretty common.
Damn.
Mom's younger sister. And the boy is trying to readjust to life and where he's replaced with the mom's younger sister's mom. And yeah. Boy meets Heron. Heron has a human nose.
Wait, heron as in...
Like the
Bird?
The bird.
Oh, okay. I was misunderstanding you for a while. I thought you said heroin, as in heroin.
Like the drug?
No, as in female hero.
I mean, there is one, but not till the end of the movie. Anyway, so that's how that movie went. It was very good. I recommend it if you are like looking for something new to watch. It's always a treat to watch Ghibli movies. Also, there's these things called the Wara Wara, and I love them so much, but I was so disappointed they did not have the cutesy little butt cheeks.
Huh?
You know how like Pum Pum Pudding has a butthole?
Like the X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when you have these little cute figurines, they're supposed to be humanoid. They have like little butt cheeks on them,
Huh?
like a Gudetama.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm so sad they didn't have that because that would have been so good. Kill issue for the Patreon cancel for real. And they're fucking parakeet, dude. I cannot take them seriously.
The what now?
The parakeets in the film are the weirdest motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're birds.
Oh.
They're cannibalistic birds.
Anyway. Next thing, also from Mina, because we're going through the backlog there. Twitch.
Oh yeah, Twitch allowing titty.
For only 24 hours before being like, oh wait, okay, you'll push it too hard. Never mind.
Wait a minute, the internet's horny on Maine.
The internet's extra horny. You fucking allowed the floodgates, my guy. To this day, you'll still see some like hot tube Twitch streamers who just have like the black censor bar over their titties and the black part and the bottom part, and they'll be fine, right? But for 24 hours, they had relaxed the um, nudity
Restriction?
sanction? Is that what I want to use?
Rule?
Restriction thing.
Regulation?
The regulations on nudity, um, by saying that it is allowed in an artistic form, right? So for 24 hours, Twitch Arts tag was filled with gay furry porn. And
You know what?
And-
Doesn't surprise me.
it does not surprise me, and honestly, I'm surprised nobody at Twitch brought this up sooner.
But you know what it is, Mina? You know what it is? It's because all the higher ups are like business people and whatever. All the people on the back end who would immediately think the furry porn stuff because internet back end people are all furries. Weren't in that meeting. Warned them.
I one IT guy to just show up to these meetings. Just one.
No, the problem is he's also a gay furry.
That's why.
Oh
He
yeah,
was like,
yes,
yes.
Jimmy, because the thing is, IT professionals are like 50% of them are furries, and the majority of furries are gay. Those are both real statistics.
But anyway, so yeah, the art tag would have been filled, so that would have been a very interesting art stream had I actually streamed that day. I was considering it too, but I wasn't able to.
And rake in the commissions.
Break in the fucking commission. I have it in my whispers that somebody wanted to commission me, but I don't think they filled out the form. Unless you on there's like a whole form on there now.
Fancy.
Yeah. It's not that fancy. It's literally just Google Forms.
Anyway.
But yeah, and also it's not only just gay furry porn. It was also I can like tell when I was on Twitch, I went on phone and like two of the channels that were recommended to me were like fucking half naked women. I'm like, bruh, if I want to see naked women,
Yeah.
I'd go somewhere else, not Twitch. You know?
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
See, if I want to see furry porn, I'll make a Twitter account.
If I want to see furry porn, I'll go to R34. Or somewhere else.
Go to Reddit. Go to Twitter. Go to really old Tumblr.
I think they're all purged from Tumblr.
Wayback Machine.
Remember we had the porn ban?
Anyway, alright, what's next?
Who's next?
Somebody else take it. I'm tired.
Alright, at time, new safety regulations directly led to 844 deaths in a single incident in Chicago.
The fuck? What happened?
So, this is a somewhat long story. So this story, the part of it we care about, starts in April of 1912. Alright? Specifically April 14th to the 15th of 1912.
Yeah,
Now,
that's a while
on the
ago.
top of your heads, take a guess at what happened on over the course of that night.
The Titanic.
Yes!
Oh.
We go back to the sinking of the Titanic.
Big sheep.
Which,
Bless you.
as you are presumably aware, Titanic hit iceberg, it sank, and due to a shortage of lifeboats, and those lifeboats mostly being half empty when they launch, a lot of people died. Which
Yeah.
then meant there was obviously a bunch of people were like, wait a minute, they should have enough lifeboats for all the people on board. Which, by the way, technically isn't the modern regulation. It's they need to have enough lifeboats for, I think it's like 40% of the passengers, but everyone else needs to have a life raft. However, the thing is, all the regular, like, alright, you guys are gonna need to put enough lifeboats on all your boats to get everyone off of it. All the shipping people who, like, all the passenger lines complained about this. Not just because that would cost them money, by the way. It wasn't just that this would cost them money. It's that the thing is, with Titanic sinking, Titanic took a long time to sink. Titanic took like 3 hours to sink. Like, because the Titanic was a very, very well built ship that took damage in such a way that, yeah, while it went down, it took a long time. Most ships sink in well under 30 minutes. So, all the lifeboats in the world won't save people if there's no time to put people into the lifeboats before the ship sinks.
Mm-hmm.
And adding all those extra boats that ultimately don't do anything wouldn't just be expensive, but, as we'll mention, cause problems. Also, for reference, by the way, after the sinking of the Titanic, the US Navy conducted an experiment to test how fast they could actually evacuate a ship. So they got a whole bunch of sailors and had them go and unload a ship, basically, get on the lifeboats and leave, kind of thing. And the military personnel with military discipline in ideal conditions, how many people do you think they could get off the ship in 1 hour?
50.
100.
15.
Oh,
Fif-
did I get it?
Alright, Mina says 15, Jimmy says 100. Bolt, how many people do you think?
Sorry?
US military did an experiment in the 19 teens after the sinking of Titanic. See how fast they could get people off of a ship under ideal conditions via the lifeboats.
Hmm.
You can guess how many people per hour they could get off the ship.
I think maybe. I would say 10, I don't know.
10 people per hour.
Damn.
Hold on, no. I'm questioning because I was expecting all of you to have much higher answers.
I was the highest
have
one with 100.
Yeah,
We have very
no. You have all lowballed it by a lot. Guys, there's more than one
What?
lifeboat that can be loaded simultaneously.
I have no faith in the Navy.
The 8 crayons.
It was 1,100 people per hour
Okay.
Okay, cool.
under
That's actually
ideal conditions. Under ideal conditions with military training.
Mhm. Titanic had how many again?
2,224.
So in 2 hours, I could have unloaded everyone in lifeboats.
Under ideal conditions with military discipline. So, it's basic knowledge. If Titanic had enough lifeboats, it probably could have saved everyone. However, the people are pointing out Titanic is an exceptional circumstance because with that given rate, assuming you could do 1,100 people an hour, which in real conditions you can't, especially given people tend to panic, in the high end of how long it takes an average ship to sink, you could offload 500 people. So, extra lifeboats wouldn't matter. And the thing is, which brings us back to the original point, the SS Eastland. The SS Eastland was a ship that, due to questionable design, was not very stable. And new regulation says you have to have enough lifeboats for everyone aboard. So they threw a bunch of lifeboats on it to raise the center of gravity.
Which made it more
Center of
unstable.
mass. Center of mass, which reduced the stability further, which... Question, do we want me to go into an explanation of how ship stability works?
While I go to the
That's
bathroom, I think it would be a good idea. Yes, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quickly.
Alright. So, ship stability, you functionally have 3 points to concern yourself with. You have the center of buoyancy, the center of mass, and I think it's called the meta center, which is the center of rotation. Because when it comes to ship stability, we're talking about roll, so side to side.
because
The
of weight.
center of buoyancy is the... And because we're talking about roll, functionally you just take a slice of the ship, so you've got left side and the right side. It's like looking at it basically front on. You're looking at the ship straight front on. Making just a cross section basically. Center of buoyancy is the center of the part of the ship that is under the water. The center of mass is obviously the average position of all the weight on the ship. And the center of rotation is roughly the center of the volume, I think. I don't know. The main thing to keep in mind, though, is the center of mass is determined by how you load the ship. The center of buoyancy changes as the ship moves around in the water, because that changes how much the ship is in the water and where. And basically, how the stability of a ship works is the center of buoyancy can be visualized as applying an upward force from that point. The center of mass provides a downward force from that point, which can create a twisting motion. Now, stability can either work by having the center of mass below the center of buoyancy, which is easy, or above. Because even if it's above it, I could draw it out and like stream. Actually, hold on, let me. I am going to stream this tab to Discord so I can try and explain it. Can't put it on this screen right away. Where is your screen? Here. This. Alright. I found a picture of a boat to explain this with. This is a very small boat, but it's close enough.
Same math.
Well,
So we've got like the center of buoyancies here. I don't know if that's actually where it is, but we'll put the center of rotation here. I don't know if that's where they are, but it doesn't matter. The center of mass. So the point is, the center of buoyancy creates a force that goes up.
Center of mass creates the center that pushes down.
Yes, center of mass. Let's put that here, and it pushes down. Now, obviously, you might think center of mass is above the center of buoyancy. That can cause problems. However, if the boat rolls,
I'm back.
it rolls this way. Jimmy, are you back?
Yep.
I've pulled up a diagram to explain it. Can you put my share screen on the screen,
Yeah,
please?
I can probably do that. Just give me a second.
And then
Yeah,
I'll
what
kind of
about-
repeat this so people can see.
Hold on, wait. OBS is being a little bit of a bitch right now. Just give me a second.
We're talking about stability of boat and how center of mass and everything works.
Okay, give me 1 second. So I need to, move. Okay, so I assume it's like the same thing as other center. Okay, and
It's similar to other stability, like stability for a car, except there's some difference to it due to boat. Uh,
zing. Do you want me to put this like above everyone else, or?
uh,
I think we're gonna
I
put
don't
it in
sure.
the window.
Just somewhere where it is visible to chat, the VOD, all that.
Right. Let's put it like this. Right. Okay.
I'm waiting
There you
for
go.
the.
There you go. It's there on stream.
All right. So, chat. What we have is we have here. I've put the center of rotation. I don't know. I don't know if any of these points to the right spot, but that's kind of irrelevant. Center of rotation is the black dot. Center of gravity. Center of mass is the red dot. Center of buoyancy is the green dot. And center of buoyancy is where you will see the upwards force of buoyancy act upon. Center of mass where the downward force of gravity acts upon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this instance, center of gravity is above the center of buoyancy.
Yeah.
So you might think, okay, the boat, let's say it rolls this way. That means now what happens is, well, that means the center of mass stays put and the center of buoyancy. However, now their angles of action are this way and this way, which then would create a twisting force. So in that direction, acting upon the center, which would then you'd think cause it to roll over farther. Except that's not what happens because center of buoyancy is the center of the underwater part of the boat. Now, if the water line is like here, as we're way over, the center of buoyancy is now over here,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like that causes the twisting motion in the other direction, which causes the boat to then right itself as it twists the other way back and twists back to being centered. I'm not explaining this very well. So this means that even with the center of gravity high above the center of buoyancy, you can be stable. That's how very tall ships can work. The key thing to keep in mind is if the center of gravity gets too high, then you have an issue where, in this instance, the center of gravity is nice and low, so it gets, if the boat goes rolling in this direction, the center of gravity also ends up relatively to the center of rotation going the other way. However, if the center of gravity is above the center of rotation, then as the overall boat moves this way, the center of gravity also moves this way, which due to the change in the underwater portion of the boat, the underwater center of buoyancy moves this way. Which means you have overall less stability because the center of buoyancy needs to outrun the center of mass
That
as they
sounds
both
kind of
move to
funny.
the right. And if the center of gravity gets high enough that it moves this way faster than the center of buoyancy does, then the whole thing will topple over.
Mm.
And
Sink the
that
ship.
brings us back. Yeah, which caused the ship to roll over and sink. Which brings us back to the SS Eastland, which the whole point of this, they added all the extra lifeboats all the way at the top, because that's where there was room for them, which dragged center of mass up. Additionally, it was a passenger vessel whose passenger decks were up here, basically,
Yeah.
which dragged the center of mass up.
Higher.
Yes. Plus, passengers have the other thing of they're not necessarily stationary, so the center of mass can also traverse side to side as the people move around on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Which other cargoes can do that too, but that's not the point because this is a passenger vessel. And what happened is the SS Eastland took on a full load of people, untied from the dock, and then it almost immediately rolled over onto its side.
Like as soon as it came out?
Like it hadn't even like left the docking area fully. It just sat there, it swayed back and forth, and it just tipped over.
That's the incident?
That was basically what caused it to fall over, and basically everyone who was below decks drowned.
Oh.
Because it was in the water.
Yep.
Shut down the stream.
Right.
Done. Explaining the science behind it. And basically, it was entirely because the SS Eastland wasn't very stable because it had some design quirks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that
Uh,
the one in Chicago?
in Chicago, yes. And
Yes. Oh, I've heard about
between
this.
yeah, and between the lifeboats and some other refit stuff, meant that it had a very low stability, very very low. And on this day, it took on a very large load of passengers, which push it over the edge of its stability and cause it to fall over. And this was a whole big thing or whatever. The other big thing was due to the way boat liability works. Basically, none of the victims or their families got any compensation.
That sucks. That's
Because not because they weren't able to claim any, but because there is rules for how much compensation can be claimed in the event of a maritime incident, so boat owners don't just immediately go bankrupt if anything happens.
Legal
And
also did a video on that shortly after the Ocean Gate disaster.
and the other thing with it is the priority of who gets prioritized first. All the passengers and their families were at the bottom of the bucket.
Right. Here is a video about the SS Eastland by my favorite mortician that you can also check out.
that's
Also,
a funny
fun
haircut.
fact, SS Eastland ended up getting picked up out of the water and raised, and the U.S. Navy ended up buying it, turning it into a Great Lakes patrol vessel, which was much more stable because they cut about the top 3 decks off of it.
Makes sense.
Which lowers the center of mass, which makes it more stable. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like very complex science involving ships and their stability.
There's a lot of
Especially when it comes to cargoes that are like liquids or grains or whatever. There's this thing called the free surface effect, which is basically if like you have a tank full of water, if you have a bucket full of water, a tank full of water, right? The ship rolls over, the water moves to the lowest point. So if the tank isn't completely full, that causes the mass in the tank to move to the side, which can then move the center of mass, which can move it past the center of buoyancy and send you toppling over.
And
Which is
then
why,
you go, I'm under the water.
yeah, which is one of the reasons ballast tanks generally are many small tanks instead of one big one, Because you don't want to partially fill a ballast tank, because that invokes the free surface effect, which sends you toppling over. It's the same reason like grain ships actually have to worry about it too. Because not only can grain shift over, but then it won't necessarily shift back.
Yeah.
And also, even if you fully fill a container full of rice or whatever, as it transports, it will settle, causing a free surface to appear,
A what?
which can cause a lot of problems. But you know,
Can you repeat that word, Ameep? The what to appear?
anyway, the free surface, basically, if a container isn't completely full, so there's space at the top, so there's a surface that's like free, move around. If the ship leans over, the stuff can flow to the lowest point, which will cause the mass inside that hole to shift, which then moves the center of mass of the ship over,
Mm-hmm.
which as it went over causes the ship to potentially have the center of mass outrun the center of buoyancy and just roll over.
Yep.
There's a lot of complex science, but it basically comes down to where are these 2 points that are being pulled on by the forces, and how do they interact with causing the twisting? Like, like you have one rope tied to the ceiling, one tied to the floor, basically, and you're pulling on both of them. Depending on where they are, causes things to move. I didn't explain that very well. Moving on. Uh, Colorado.
Colorado. I'm a giraffe.
Colorado has disqualified the mango.
As in the fruit.
Oh, Trump.
As in Mango Man.
Ah. Okay. As in mango man.
The Supreme Court of the U.S. state of Colorado has ruled under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, Donald Trump is disqualified from running. Now, this is specifically in the primary election, which is not the actual election. And the Mango Man, Orange Man, and his team have obviously been like, Lamau, no, and they're appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court, obviously.
Because of course.
The thing is, ultimately, arguably, them appealing it to the Supreme Court could potentially be bad for them.
I hope so.
Because, well, the thing is, if he's barred from running in Colorado, that doesn't really matter, because Colorado is fairly reliably Team Blue territory.
Mm-hmm.
So, it ultimately won't change anything. If anything, it's actually good for him, as it allows him to drum up his witch hunt narrative.
Yep.
That the crooked Joe Biden's so sure he's gonna lose, he has to resort to these underhanded tactics.
They're
You
just
know,
looking
it's-
for. They're just looking for power, and it's not a good sign.
Yeah,
Trying to.
it's that whole thing. It's, oh, I lost. It must be foul play. However, obviously, if it goes to the Supreme Court, either the Supreme Court, who has 3 different people on it that Donald Trump appointed to it, out of I think it's like 9 people's on the Supreme Court these days. Yeah, it's 9. 9, yes. Of the 9 people on the Supreme Court, Donald Trump appointed 3 of them. So, and the confidence in the Supreme Court and the public isn't very high these days, because they've been doing some sus shit.
Like smoking Roe v. Wade.
Honestly, that's some of the least sus shit they've done. Have you seen all the like corruption stuff with one of the justices?
For the sake of my mental health, I haven't.
Good.
It basically came to a bunch of people who got really upset at them for doing basically just being very unethical about it, and I was like, we should impose an ethics code, and the Supreme Court's like, Lamau, no, you can't. and then they wrote one for themselves that basically just it was a very robust ethics code, except for one problem.
Yes.
The vocabulary used was for basically all the things saying what they shouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
was good,
Was what?
not will, good. Meaning basically, we wrote this thing, however, we are free to ignore it whenever we want.
Cut out a little bit in the important zoom in.
Oh, you said would.
Yeah.
No, should.
Oh, should.
Instead of will or would or must, they used should. So,
Bruh.
for example, if there's like a perceived conflicts of interest, the justice should recuse themselves instead of will or must.
Gross.
Yeah.
Uh,
However, most of the commentary I've seen on the people talking about their predictions for what the Supreme Court's going to do on this appeal is either the either the conservative supermajority is going to rule along party lines, which will basically, in the eyes of many people, remove any and all what's the word? Legitimacy that they have left. Or the conservative supermajority is going to realize that this sets the precedent that the Mango Man is functionally above the law, and if he then gets reelected, you know what someone who's above the law doesn't need?
The law.
An independent judiciary that's a check on his power.
I was okay. So this is all like this morning. I was watching with my mother documentary on how evil mustachio German man, actually Austrian, but rose to power, and and it's just like it's just giving me red flags.
Yes.
Like both in Spain and in America, because in Spain it's basically being the same thing.
And that's the thing you added just before we started, that you made a realization you don't like about current Spain politics.
Yep. That's the realization.
And the suspiciously similar rhetoric.
Yep. I hate that history tends to repeat itself so much.
People don't give a shit.
Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Those who wish to limit the study of history intend to repeat it. And guess who's waging a war on the US education system?
Mango Man.
Well, less him specifically, but his party in general.
The Florida variant. Right? Florida?
Isn't there was
Yes,
a
them
recent
specifically,
campaign
but the Team Red in general.
there was a official who is part of like that limited sect of education who doesn't even send their children to public school. They send them to private school, right? And it recently came out that they have been engaging in threesomes, and so they're getting kicked out of office. But people had to come back and say, no, we're not kicking you out of because whatever you did in the bedroom, we don't give a shit about that. Problem is that you're terrible at your job.
Damn.
Bruh. I mean, the whole thing in the US is a big mess. Anyway.
Politics
Yeah,
right
so
now is being a big mess.
The thing is, as I see it, circling back to Mango Man's disqualification, basically a lot of the experts who like observe it and whatnot are basically 50-50 split opinion on whether or not the court's gonna act in its own self-interest and sustain the decision, or act along party lines and overturn it. with like a very slight lean towards them acting their own self-interest and standing his disqualification, but yeah.
I think they should maintain it because states' rights and all that shit. Didn't they give a shit about that before?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Is especially as like a primate, but if big man, the the huge kerfuffle, and I don't fucking know. The thing is, though, I wouldn't be surprised if he does get disqualified. I think that would probably actually increase the GOP's ability to potentially
Play
win the
victim.
next election because they're not running Donald Trump, who's a pariah among a lot of the voter base. They can run literally anyone else, and Joe Biden's popularity is in the fucking toilet. 'Cause he most of his presidency hasn't been particularly popular, but especially recently his popularity's tanked because of how he's handled the Middle East.
Joe?
Yes.
Oh, that's a problem.
Mainly because a lot of the Team Blue voter base uh, strongly doesn't like the way Israel's been handling its stuff. Mr.
I
Joe
saw.
Biden's been unflinchingly supporting them in their continued escapades.
Yeah, I saw an article that recently said there are no functional hospitals anywhere in that region at the moment.
That's problematic to say the least.
He absolutely is. Um,
Uh, in that vain similarity, down in Yemen, Houthi rebels, which is its own long, complicated Middle East thing, but the part we care about is the Houthi rebels of Yemen have started causing problems for global shipping in the Red Sea. And if you know anything about U.S. history, what's the number one thing that'll get the U.S. pissed off?
Oil
fuck
problems.
them.
Jimmy says oil problems. What does Mina say?
Fucking with their bottom line.
Fucking the bottom line. Molt,
I have no idea.
both wrong, both of you. It's fucking with America's boats.
Ah, you know what?
Of
Fair
course.
enough.
Boats.
Bottom
It
line.
circles back to the boats.
We bombed like 2 boats. They dropped the sun on us twice.
Oh man.
For the record, it wasn't 2 boats. It was.
There's a couple boats. They're still in the boats too.
Yeah, there's still some of the boats are still there. 2 of them are.
No, the boats are still there, but so are the bodies.
Yes. In both Arizona and Utah, which everyone forgets Utah because Edge, and because it was a really old ship converted to a target ship, an active ship, but not the point. So the Houthi rebels have been, going poking things.
Well, they shouldn't.
They they I think they actually hijacked a ship even, shot some drones and lit some of them too. So the U.S. is obviously big pissed, but then the Houthis come out and put out like a video where like, yeah, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, United States, yeah. Which basically, United States went bet,
I bet.
and people have been memeing it because
Because it's the internet.
like they're doing their marching, they've got their AK-47s, they've got their RPGs and stuff. Like they're actually fairly well equipped because they've got jets. Granted, the specific the specific jet that they have that was like seen and stuff was the American built F5. Now, the F5 was is a very, very maneuverable aircraft
Mm-hmm.
that the United States didn't actually use that much as a combat aircraft.
Why would
That's
that
probably
be?
its most significant. Well, mainly because they preferred heavier things like the F4, but uh, the thing is, it was a very good, very, very maneuverable aircraft. However, you know what the main thing the United States used it for was?
Reconnaissance?
No. The main thing the United States used it for was as a simulated MiG for pilot training.
Ah!
It also is the MiG in the original Top Gun. Uh, so the Houthis come out here literally flying the target practice jet.
That's
It's old
hilarious.
enough it was in the original Top Gun.
That's hilarious.
And they're like, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. So all the memes have been like, the one Houthi F5 pilot getting the briefing saying he's about to go up against the fucking F-22. Like, my guy,
My boy!
no, no, that's not gonna go very well. Yeah, the F5's very maneuverable. Also, like a third generation jet.
It's like pretty old.
Yeah, just keep in mind the gen jets is like that's like Vietnam War era.
Damn.
And thing is, the third generation jets like the F4 Phantom, the F5, they were pretty good. The fourth generation jets in the United States are the F-15 and the F-16.
Okay, wait,
To
hold
remind
on.
you,
Meep. Okay, so it's the F. What do you say? F5 and F4?
F5 and F4.
How the fuck do you jump from F5 and F4 to F16 and F15?
Uh, F all the way to F-15 because the designs are numbered before they're like adopted and whatever. So some of them were designed and not fully implemented.
Okay.
There may have been some other stuff in, like
So, like, where's the F6 to the F14?
some of the other things is US keeps like repeating numbers sometimes. But yeah, there was an F6 fighter jet. It just kind of ignored because the US didn't like it. So the thing is, how familiar are you with the specifications of the F-15?
It.
Not at all.
Doesn't the F15 have the A10? No, wait, no.
No, that's a
No.
different plane.
Yeah. I was thinking. Yeah, no. No, I don't remember.
The F-15,
Pretty sure it's
Jimmy.
pretty fast plane, though.
The F-15 has enough thrust that in at least one test, it broke Mach 1 pulling a vertical climb.
God damn!
It broke the sound barrier in a straight vertical climb.
Like, he was just pointing up and going. Zoom! Making,
The,
like,
the
sound clouds.
F-15, the F-15 has the single greatest air-to-air kill ratio of any aircraft ever built.
What do you mean air to air?
Like the air kills to losses.
Oh. Even better than the
At
Messerschmitt?
104 confirmed air kills, 0 losses.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, 0 losses.
The F-15 is like one of the single most capable jets ever designed. In fact, it's so good the United States is currently acquiring some new ones.
When was the F-15 first built? The 80s?
F-15. F-15. First flight, July 27th, 1972.
Oh wow. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. It's also the F-15 is what the original Starscream was, by the way.
Starscream?
But yeah.
The
Oh,
Generation
right.
1 Transformers,
Transformers.
Starscream was an F-15. Yeah. Uh, yeah. The Yeah, the Americans are getting new ones mainly because everyone's realized, all these fancy fifth generation fighters, they're really good,
But they're very
but they're
expensive.
fucking expensive. Not just to build, but also to maintain. So they're like, do we really need to have the Air National Guard flying F-35s? We'll just buy some modernized F-15 that are up to Gen 4.5 specs because you've got your Generation 4 aircraft and you got your Generation 5 aircraft. Everyone realized Generation 5 aircrafts cost a bajillion dollars, so the 4.5 gen aircraft are mostly 4th gen frames that have been updated with, or new frames that have most of the 5th gen tech except the stealth, because it's the stealth that costs a bajillion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And they fill a lot of the second line roles where it's like, do we really need to spend the money on sending a stealth jet to do this? I mean, we're fighting dudes with AK-47s in the deserts of the Middle East. We really don't need to send an F-22. Kind of
F-22 is the Phantom?
overkill. No, the F-22 is the Raptor.
What's the Phantom again?
That's the F-4 is the Phantom, which isn't stealth.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's funny. You're calling playing the
No,
Phantom, and it's
the
not a stealth blade. Okay.
no the American stealth planes are the F-117 Nighthawk,
Okay.
the SR-71 Blackbird,
Mm-hmm.
the F-22 Raptor, the F-35 Lightning II, the B-2 Spirit, and the B-21 Raider.
I love how you know all this data. It's like you
Sure.
can just pull it up at any moment without really looking it up.
Because it's
I'm a nerd.
yeah, he's a nerd. It's his neurospicy interest.
Yes. Actually, we'll transition straight to. I went to an air museum yesterday.
And he
Uh,
saw air.
yes, saw air, but there was planes and stuff. Quite a few planes, including this is one of the few air museums that has an F-117 in it.
Oh.
It's got Lay stealth plane, America's first generation stealth plane. The
F-
United States, with aircraft more advanced than you have in museums.
F-167?
F-117.
F-170.
117.
Nighthawk. Let me look at this plane. Oh, right, the Dorito.
It's the Generation 1 Dorito, yes.
Yeah, it's a Gen 1 Dorito. Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is so angular.
Yes. Just
What a bitch.
I'm on it.
F-117, which was from 1981, by the way. Yeah, which is fully retired. The America's just done with it. Got better stuff. Which also, the F-117 was its own separate hangar, which, of course, because of the stealth plane, they've got the lights turned down really low in that hangar.
Of course.
Of course it is.
Of course they do, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but it's like they had that. They had. It was actually a very well laid out thing where they had a World War II Europe room. They had a World War II Pacific room. They had the Korea Vietnam room. The F-117 in its own room. Had some planes outside, and they had an entire room dedicated to their B-17. Flying Fortress.
Ah,
Because
yes. Big plane.
if the bees, yes, for context on how big that is, they had like their World War II fighter planes in there, in the room next to it. The like wingspan on like the World War II fighter planes is the same as the tail span of the B-17.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, where?
Because the B-17 is a very large aircraft.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah. Is the B-17 Flying Fortress, you know, the World War II American bomber. B-1, basically. Isn't the only one, but it's the big famous one.
I put the Dorito on screen. I think it's the right Dorito.
Hold on, let's see which one you pulled up.
I put it on
Waiting for
images
it to show
too.
up. Yes, that's the right Dorito.
Yeah! Let's go. We went from a tank to a Dorito on that set of images. Because the image before was a Churchill.
Only in the Roomba thought to go from one top to this.
To a tank to a Dorito plane. Yep. Also, Mina, have you...
Yep.
I don't know if... You probably have, but we have an upside down dancing Umbreon and the low poly Umbreon on the Roomba screen, just vibing.
And a hot
And all the polygons of the plane on the other side of this.
Y'all have
Yeah.
the polygon. You're just missing that fucking car.
Hmm?
No, that's why the Umbreon's there, is because it's from Cybertruck
Yeah,
last time.
I know you guys. I know you guys were talking about the Cybertruck last time. I think I was there for some of it. So you put a polygon Umbreon. We just need the poly car, and then we have the poly plane.
Yes, all the polygons.
All the polygons in the universe. N64
The-
game.
Yeah. The other thing that this museum had is they had some very good models of some boats in the World War II Pacific section.
Wait, that's legal.
They were. They had their Pearl Harbor diorama and all that. They also had like some people donate some huge, incredibly detailed models of a USS Lexington, USS Missouri. There was a Fletcher class destroyer. I forget which one it was that they were modeling, as well as the USS San Francisco cruiser and a Japanese submarine. No, it wasn't Japanese submarine. It was an American submarine. It was a submarine, World War II submarine. As well as they had a bunch of smaller models of a whole bunch of things that were also very, very well done and very, very detailed models. And I spent a good many minutes just
Geeking.
admiring those models. Like the Lexington class one, it was longer. I could like hold my arms out to my side fully, and the length of this model was longer than that.
Oh, hey, speaking
It
of
was
air museums and
huge.
and planes, jet engines. Why do you want to talk about jet engines?
Hold on, I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
I'm still talking about some of the things I saw there. They had, like a cardboard X-wing for some
Because
reason.
it sounds like we're doing dad's
They
grades.
had a Spitfire, British aircraft. They had a couple like first generation MiGs like MiG-15,
The
they had a
MiG?
MiG-21,
The MiG is the Russian planes, right?
Soviet jets. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
they had an F-14, the Top Gun plane. They had left. Oh, Mina left.
Oh, I assume she had to go for.
Yeah, Mina just put in chat that she had to hop up.
Yeah.
They
okay.
had out front. They had an F-16 out front, which is still in use. They had an that was an F-15. I don't remember. I also had an F-15. They had quite a few planes that were fairly modern. They had some older ones. So, good mix, and they had a couple helicopters as well. Helicopter.
Helicopter.
Yes. One thing that was kind of disappointing is the Vietnam-Korea hangar was closed because they were preparing for a Christmas event.
Uh-huh.
Or they'd like trucked in a whole bunch of snow. Because of reasons.
Because Christmas equals snow.
They had a C-47 Skytrain. They also had one of the things they had there was they had a second B-17 actually that was there temporarily, which was the B-17 used in the filming of the movie Memphis Belle. It was an old movie. Yeah, there's a few of those airworthy. I think we lost one over the summer because that was a crash, but there's a few of those still flying. They had the front end of a B-29. They had like just the cockpit. They had one of the things they had was they had what was left of a recovered D-Day glider.
A glider? Like
From the
a paraglider?
Yes. Well, not a paraglider, but it was a full-size glider. Oops! I accidentally unplugged my microphone. Oops. My back.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
you've been fun the entire time.
And no, I briefly pulled it out, so I had to plug it back in. I saw myself do it, so it's not like I was talking to the void.
Ah, no, you were talking the entire time.
Well, it was very quick.
Damn.
Anyway, the point is that it was a glider. It wasn't a small glider, Jimmy. It was a big glider. It could hold like
Yeah, with both
a
hands.
dozen guys.
Oh, okay.
Hold like a dozen guys. Could carry like a jeep. There was a different one that the British made. It was large enough that they prototyped some like light tanks they could deploy from the.
Oh.
That's where you get things like the M22 Locust.
If I recall correctly, also the Tatark.
Patriarch, yeah. The paratrooper tanks.
Yep. Small light tanks with decent guns. At least, for the size of tank.
Yeah. You don't have things where you've got like the American M5 Stuart that they're using in 1945 with a 37mm gun. Which, to be fair, against anything that isn't a tank is fairly good. But, like armored cars and shit, or you're fighting the Japanese because all of Japan's tanks are 1930s vintage, but
Yeah.
Moving on though to jet engine because Meep wanted to.
Yeah, and also because we were talking about planes, so it's the perfect segue.
Yes. So Meep went down a rabbit hole on the different kinds of jet engine. Like the development thereof and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Jet engine's really more of an umbrella term. There's
Yeah.
lots of different engines that apply. It's not like the internal combustion engine was like, oh yeah, you got like your diesel engine, your gasoline engine.
Mm-hmm.
No. Or it's like you've got your radial engines or your inline straight engines.
Or the
your
Boxer engine, or V-type engine.
No,
or...
I'm talking, they've got like basically completely different methods of operation. Like the only thing that's like same is light thing on fire, great thrust. So on the simpler end, you have pulse jet. This is like the Germans used it in World War II for like the V1 and shit. where it's like you ignite the thing, goes thwomp, then you put more fuel in, you ignite it again, it goes thwomp again. It's these pulses. This
Mm-hmm.
pulse jet
Yeah.
makes a very iconic like noise.
Oh, that he even adds the sound effects.
Yes. Uh, then you've got a variant of the pulse jet, which is the pulse detonation, and which functionally is basically the same thing, except you get into weird specifics with speed of the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's two ways to burn things. There's detonation and there's deflagration, which is
Uh-huh.
basically just does it burn really fast or does it explode?
Exactly. Detonation is go kaboom, and deflagration is
It's the difference. Yeah, it's the difference between high explosives and low explosives. Does it create a shockwave?
mm-hmm.
And pulse jets do not, but pulse detonation engines do. That's basically the difference between the two of them. But the detonation creates more thrust for the same fuel.
Mm-hmm.
It's more efficient. Then you have turbojets and turbofans, which are very, very, very similar. Uh, the which is your fairly traditional, consistent, constant thrust jet that you'll see in passenger aircraft is turbofan and budget
Yeah.
jet, but you got the big fan at the front that pulls air both through the engine itself, but also around it for the bypass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the difference is ones with basically no bypass are turbojets, where you've just it's a compressor fan that sucks the air into the engine, where the stuff happens and it goes shooting out the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get like for like fighter jets, which for their size and mass and all that produce significantly more thrust. Turbofans, which are used mostly in passenger jets, on the other hand, produce less thrust per volume and all that, but do so much, much more fuel efficiently,
Mm-hmm.
which is why they're preferred for that application. And they do produce a lot of thrust. They also, though, the other part of it is turbojets have a much higher operating top speed, which is why they're like fighter jets, which oh, like to go fast. Like even like modern day fighter jets, which have toned down the speed a bit,
Yeah.
still fairly consistently hit Mach 2.
So double the speed of sound.
Yes. Whereas your average passenger airliner cruises at like point 0.8 Mach, I think. 0.8, that. Uh, comfortably subsonic. Uh, so the efficiency of the turbofans preferred. Blah blah blah. And you've got some weird thing where you've got uh this thing called a rolling detonation engine
Mm-hmm.
or rotating detonation, which is a kind of jet that has basically combines a pulse jet with a turbojet or some other kind of jet, where it basically sets a detonation wave in it, but it's basically going around a centerpiece in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting the detonation power boost like with the pulses, but it's going around like a cylinder in the center. You get a constant thrust effect by having this detonation wave. Basically need a diagram to explain what the fuck's going on with it.
So it's very complex, basically.
It's very complex to explain, but at least in concept, isn't very complex. It's weird.
Hmm.
And then the next kind of jet is actually two different kinds of jets, but they work basically the same. That is the ramjet and the scramjet. These are jets that have basically no moving parts.
But
And the thing with these is their main downside is because they have no like compressor fan or anything like that. They do not work from a standstill. You cannot use them to take off. And you cannot use them at low speeds. However,
so they have to be on tandem with another set of engines.
yeah, they need something else to get them going. However, ramjets are most efficient from like Mach 3 to Mach 6.
Damn, that's
Scramjets, like most efficient from like, are even higher speeds. They are useful for getting incredibly high top speeds,
mm-hmm.
and they're incredibly simple maintenance wise. But they obviously have the problem of they need to be paired with some other kind of engine.
Yeah, in order to work.
For example, the SR-71 Blackbird has a turbofan ramjet combo, if I remember. Uh, then you've got these multi-engines or whatever. The other thing is, generally, scramjets actually need to be comboed with ramjets, because you need a ramjet to get to the speed where a scramjet can work. However, it's entirely possible you can design a ramjet that then turns into a scramjet. Because it's basically how they work is you basically design the shape of the intake in such a way that it creates the supersonic shock wave such a way that that is the compressor or jet engine.
Mm-hmm.
You basically have it in such a way that as the speed increases, that moves, and it basically shifts from being a ramjet to a scramjet, either with no moving parts or with like a slight move of like an adjustment nozzle, basically. Then there's people trying to combo all kinds of different things together and introduce the rolling detonation and to it for this, that, and the other thing. And jets are both complicated and simple at the same time, and jet engines are fucking huge. In like length.
Hmm.
I don't know. Uh. Alright.
I mean,
Do we want me to talk about?
Mina's not here.
Should I talk about Pavement Princess, or should I talk about the world's fastest steam train debate?
Let's continue with transportation. The rotation transportation. So let's go for the trains.
All right. So,
So
as you may not know, the official record for the fastest recorded speed achieved by a steam locomotive is 126 miles an hour
that's not a
by
lot.
the British A4 Pacific steam locomotive named Mallard in their locomotives. And for Bolt, that's 202 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's not that fast, honestly.
Now, I mean, it is pretty quick.
It is
Especially given
quick, but you know.
Especially this was done in.
But I was expecting
Done
speeds
in
closer to
1938.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Now, it holds the official record for the fastest steam locomotive to ever achieve that speed.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is
Yeah.
strong evidence that other steam locomotives achieved higher speeds, even if they weren't quote unquote official records. The one of the leading contenders for outdoing Mallard was the uh, Pennsylvania Railroad's S1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put a picture of this in the.
Do you want me to put it up?
Yeah, hold on.
All right.
Here is an old picture of it. Black and white photo of it. So the S1 was American Pennsylvania Railroad prototype passenger locomotive.
Oh, that looks like a speedy boy.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna put for comparison. This is train that officially holds the record, blue one. Uh, so the thing is, the one, the prototype, Pennsylvania Railroad locomotive,
Mm-hmm.
was a one-off prototype.
Yeah.
It was huge, ginormous engine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it, as far as I can tell, it was the longest steam locomotive ever built.
Oh.
Longer even than Big Boy.
Oh, wait,
Which
I am
is
shrinking.
really impressive, because the S1 wasn't articulated.
As in?
As in, it was a fully rigid frame.
Oh.
Meaning, it couldn't exactly corner much at all. Like, if you can kind of see on this picture, it's not the best quality. You can kind of see this is a 6446 locomotive.
Do I need to put more
It's got
pictures of trains?
It's got two pairs of uh, four driving wheels, two on each side. However, unlike Big Boy, who's got that 4884, who's got each set of those driving wheels can move, can turn, articulate. The S1 is a fully rigid frame, so they can't do that. The reason it's duplex like that is not because they've split the frame, it's because that means you've got double the cylinders for the same amount of wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You got more front. Oomph.
The sauce.
Allard is... Yeah. Allard is apparently a 3-cylinder setup, which is... I don't know how the fuck you do that, because that's an odd number. You've only got 2 sets of driving sets. How the hell do you have 3 pistons? I don't know. But somehow they did it. Now, so the S1 is a much bigger engine
Yeah.
than Mallard. Because the Americans built bigger engines. That's just a fact.
Because Americans.
Well, because the needs of the railroads were very different.
Mm-hmm.
Because, reminder, reminder, the United Kingdom, like the island of Great Britain, but like the north end of it in like Washington D.C., I'm pretty sure the south end doesn't even reach Florida.
Oh, you're taking size-wise.
Yeah, physical size.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. is huge compared to the U.K.,
Hey, yeah, no,
which means
duh.
all the trains need to go much longer distances.
Ah,
Additionally, the Americans built their railroads to accommodate much heavier vehicles.
that makes sense.
Like, if you sent like some of these supermassive American engines to Britain, they would physically tear the rails apart with their weight if you ran them at speed.
Wow.
And they would collapse basically any rail bridge in England if they went over them. As a reminder, the Union Pacific Big Boy that I really like, that thing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it weighs, I'm checking Google, it weighs 1.2 million pounds,
That's
which is three. Uh, actually, I think that's the fully loaded weight plus the tender. The engine alone, according to Wikipedia, the engine alone, where is it? Weight. Locomotive weight. The locomotive alone,
yeah.
depending on the specific version, uh, weighed, I'm going to convert this into kilograms. The lighter of the two versions listed weighed 762,000 pounds to kilograms, which is uh 345,000 kilograms.
So 345 tons.
Yeah. In metric tons, it's 345 metric tons.
Yeah. Right, I forgot that there's another which is TONNE.
Yeah, there's the metric ton, there's the imperial ton, and then there's two different imperial tons by
Bruh.
uh whereas for context, Allard weighs a paltry 369,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Kilograms is actually in metric tons is 167 metric tons. And Allard is a very large steam engine by British standards. So yeah, back to the S1.
Mm-hmm.
S1 obviously had a bunch of flaws. That's why it only stayed a prototype. But the way the Mallard set its speed record was was pulling what is known as a dynamometer car, which is a special coach that's got a bunch of instruments to accurately measure speed and all that,
Makes
and a bunch
sense.
of other things. That's how they set their record. Because the company that built Mallard and some other company were going back and forth trading who has fastest train. Americans didn't really care about that, so they never did those tests, which is why Mallard officially has the record. However, unofficial tests were taken. Because here's the thing, the S1, its internal speedometer topped out at 110 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Many recorded instances where they topped out the speedometer.
Oh.
Like, it physically could not go higher. So, he was timed in other ways, though. The speed that via basically timing how long it took going between different points with a known distance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not quite as precise. However, railroads in America, compare for Jimmy to understand how much the railroads in America cared about making sure timings were accurate.
Uh-huh.
The U.S. railroads invented time zones.
Ah. Well, then that's annoying.
Yeah,
Damn you
no.
Americans!
The U.S. railroads invented time zones, and railroads specification watches were very high quality, and it was these that were used to time them.
Mm-hmm.
The recorded speeds in this method, one of the fastest runs ever recorded in this method,
Uh-huh.
the average speed over the course of the time taken, uh, excluding the acceleration deceleration phases of the run, the average was over 150 miles an hour, or 240 kilometers an hour.
Okay, that's faster, yeah.
There was many other recordings where it went over 140 miles an hour using this timing method, which, you know, if you're going that speed, you're certified that's the low end of like modern high-speed rail.
Mm-hmm.
It was the original Type Zero Shinkansen uh speed was 130 miles an hour. So assuming these time measurements are correct, this Mallard was Mallard's top speed reminder was 126 miles an hour. So just 4 miles an hour short of the original bullet train.
Mm-hmm.
So quite quick.
Yeah.
Even assuming for a bit of error down to the exact one, it was actually over, was the average. That would mean the S1 topped out at 20 miles an hour faster than the original bullet train. Which is why many people consider the S1 to be the fastest steam train ever built, even if officially, air quotes, Allard holds the title because it pulled the dynamometer car.
Mm-hmm.
And to which a lot of the people who say the S1 was the fastest ever built, they ask, who said you need to pull the dynamometer car to hold the record? Who made that rule?
Who did?
The people who actually pull the dynamometer car. But the thing that is impossible to deny, S1 is one of several locomotives that at least had the physical design characteristics that if they had a perfectly straight stretch of track of infinite length, they could have passed that speed record.
Mm-hmm.
It's by no means the only one, but it's probably one that could do it the most. The thing is, the S1 is huge. The driving wheels on the S1, which is basically how you get gear ratios on a train. Guess how big those are?
Very.
Take a guess at their diameter.
60 centimeters.
Uh... No.
How much bigger is
No.
it?
2.1 meters.
Wow.
Hmm.
That is the diameter of the driving wheels on that locomotive. That's 7 feet for my fellow American. Which is bigger than Mallard's, though not by much. Got the extra piston. It operated at a much higher boiler pressure. So, and there's a bunch of like really complicated things when it gets to optimizing steam locomotives for high speed, because you got things like with the piston size and both in how big the diameter is and how long it is, and you have to keep in mind every time the wheel makes a rotation, one full rotation of the wheel means the piston changes direction twice. Is how steam locomotives work. Is they use the steam to cause linear motion in the piston, which is translated to the circular motion of the wheel. Which also, mind-boggling to think about for car people. This train reportedly got to over 150 miles an hour on what is effectively 4 cylinders. Action cylinders, so they work in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
So
a
it would be
4-cylinder
more.
engine.
It would be more so akin to an 8-engine cylinder because of the double action? Question mark.
Sort of. It's the other thing is, obviously this is a significantly larger than what you've got in your car. Large steam locomotive cylinders can be the size of a car's engine block. Because these are ginormous machines.
Yeah, they're big fucking trains.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like complex back end of like back pressure and boiler pressure and blah blah blah. There's a bunch of really complex mechanics, but the whole point is these optimized high-speed steam trains get to ridiculous speeds. And steam locomotives are also, on like a superpower and like the big boy, ludicrously powerful. The main reasons they were gotten rid of is, especially compared to like diesels, steam locomotives are maintenance nightmares.
Hmm.
As all those wheels, all along the lengths, those all need to be oiled, to be all the steam boiler and all boiler needs to be maintained, all the different valves, pipes, and
And yada yada
the
yada.
uh. Here's the thing. For the Union Pacific Big Boy, if laid end to end, all the tubes and flues and pipes and whatever inside the locomotive, guess how long they would total to?
Sorry, what?
All the different pipes and tubes and whatever
Yeah.
inside the Union Pacific Big Boy, that superpower, they're all laid end to end. How long would the total length be, do you think?
20 meters.
20?
Oh
That's
my.
your guess?
I'll go
Oh,
70.
what's your guess? Oh, what's your guess?
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you a hint. Jimmy's guess of 70 is low.
Well, let me guess 200.
Meters, did you guess? Alright. So, of the two different subversions, the one with the shorter total is 1.7 kilometers.
Hey, I was closer.
1.7 kilometers of tubes and pipes and whatever that all have to be maintained. Not to mention all the other things. Plus, you're working with coal and coal dust and sand for traction and on maintenance nightmare. Compared to something like a diesel engine, or diesel electric, or even diesel hydraulic, diesel mechanical. It's just they were much easier to maintain. So even though they produced less power, or whatever, now if you need to run twice as many or more, it was still cheaper. Especially since diesels, you could have like 2 guys run like 7 engines, and the Americans do that. Because U.S. freight trains these days are fairly frequently have their lengths measured in miles. So do the Aussies, but, there's nothing in Australia, so. Yeah, so basically, back to the point, Allard has the quote-unquote official record, but probably was outdone by a not insignificant margin by some of the American supermassives. As America builds its locomotives for
Big.
literally an entirely different world. American supermassive locomotives basically had no equivalents. As Europeans sure didn't have any need
For
for something so ludicrously massive.
yeah, it would be something
Like,
that only America would need.
yeah, like British steam locomotives. Like if you ever go on like Thomas the Train or whatever, like the big ones are like they're basically like Mallard size. Whereas yeah, they got the 6 driving wheels or maybe 8. The Americans by the late steam age, that was like your standard light locomotive basically for mainline work. The really big ones, that's where you get into things like the big boy with its twin eights or the challenge of the twin sixes. Or there was, I think it was the Santa Fe Railroad that was uh oh, that class. What was it exactly? It was was it the
And I
7,000?
can't
It
find it.
was 5,000 was the class name. I'm trying to make sure I've got the Santa Fe 5,000 was a 210-2. Had a set of 10 driving wheels all into one set of things because Lamau we can. Uh, Americans had gargantuan engines because gargantuan distances to cover in relatively straight lines.
Yeah.
It's like so America had generally larger trains less frequently compared to Britain because network was so much physically larger. They had to go farther, so that means you need a bigger engine, not only get the higher speeds to cover that distance in a reasonable time, but also to pull more stuff all at once, and you need to have the larger tenders to carry all the extra coal and water to cover that distance, so on and so forth. In fact, the Americans actually designed a system so you could refill on water at speed.
Ah.
I basically had a system where, like, in between the rails, you had basically a tub, and on the bottom of the tender there was a scoop that basically, as you just go flying through it, the scoop just shovels up a whole bunch of water from the tub to basically uses the speed of the train to basically force it up the pipe and into the tender. So you didn't have to stop. That was used on some of the high-speed passenger. Deregulation happened, and now we've got Amtrak. Pain. Suffering, even.
I assume it's not good.
No! They've ranted about the situation of U.S. passenger rail many a time, I am sure.
Probably.
Is they legally have priority on all the rails. Not enforced, though, so they don't. Which is why they have like one long distance line that averages 80% on time. Everything else is worse. It's slow because they constantly have to wait behind as freight companies don't maintain the rails to good quality and yeah. Moving on.
Yeah. What? What else is in the idea box? Or do you guys want to stop for today because we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes and 45 minutes.
Um, let's stop for today because I kind of want Mina to be here so we can both shit on stuff when I bring up Pavement Princess.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we leave, though,
There.
Bolt, since you didn't bring anything to the box, is there anything like was there nothing you wanted to talk about for today?
No, it really wasn't. Other than just pushing everyone around just to Merry Christmas in a sense.
Fair enough.
He wants to vibe.
Yeah, he literally is. I guess he's just here to vibe.
This
Also-
other time I was just here to vibe this time around.
Alright. So then, uh,
Pretty sure we don't have PMD&D today.
Oh, actually,
no.
there's one tiny thing that I actually mention. A little while ago, I was playing some Rescue Team DX myself,
So what now?
and Rescue Team DX, the
Ah,
remake of Rescue
DMD.
Team on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was in pain after that.
So, like, mental pain? What happened?
Definitely mental pain. Yeah,
Bruh.
definitely on the mental pain side. Let me see if I can find it real quick because I did leave it somewhere. I gotta find it. Oh God, I know what I can do with this. Oh, damn it! I will find it. Damn it! Sorry for keeping you guys up here. I'm so
No, no,
sorry.
it's okay, it's
No,
okay.
that's fine.
We're here to vibe. Well, you
True,
look, go
true.
look that up though. I'm going to the bathroom again.
Yeah.
Because I drink way too much water.
Does it just think it's too much water? I would doubt that, if I'm gonna be honest.
7.8 out of 10. Too much water.
Maybe. Let's, let's look further. I will find it. Ah, there it is. I found it. Right, I'm just gonna put it up in images so that you can make use of that.
Right, yes, I just got confirmation from Mina. We are not PMD later today.
Alrighty, that's good to know. I would also assume not next week, considering it's New Year's at that point.
Well, it's specifically not because apparently it's Mina's father's birthday.
Hold on, that file is too big. Pretty sure I still had it on my phone, so I'll just send it from my phone to the server, see if that works.
Pull whatever the image is up, take a screenshot, and then share the screenshot.
That's the thing, I've tried to do that, but apparently that just doesn't work, because then it just says, oh, your file is too big. Ooh. Alright then. Let's see what happens if I do it like this. Ah. From the list of things, that works. There we are.
Hmm.
Discord and how it works.
Where's?
I'm just going to discuss on the fence because, hey, I gotta ask to make sure. Now we're just waiting for Jimmy. But you can take a look at the images as well in advance to see what is there.
Alright, I'm back. What happened? Why were you in pain?
Look at images.
Ah! I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. This is the first game that has shiny Pokemon in them,
Yeah, I've heard about that.
and the mark above is heavy. Yeah, and they only are strong. They are only with strong opponents, which is what the crown is for.
Yep.
What isn't shown in there is that in my party there is a executor, and they have Barrage. I also used the rare quality Rapid Bullseye, which causes multi-hit moves to never miss.
Okay, I think I know where this is coming from.
Yep, you guessed it
KO'd the
probably,
shiny?
but
Take it?
He multi-hit
Yep.
the shiny and killed it before he could have recruited
Yep,
him.
yep.
Pain. The worst
So
part,
much
it's
In chat.
pain.
the worst part is that it's not even fucking guaranteed that you recruit shiny Pokemons in that game.
Yeah, but it's not even bad because you have to be the one to knock it out, and knowing that an AI knocked it out was like, fuck. Oh, so much pain.
Yeah.
Well, that was a small thing.
God.
That was a
Okay.
small thing, I guess.
That's adorable, Meep. Anyway,
I just
speaking of also pain, but also not that much pain compared to what poor Bull had to go through. I found a outbreak for Chinchino the other day. Uh, I
Oh
eventually found
yeah.
the shiny. It took me an entire afternoon of shiny hunting it. By the way, it was the literal last Pokemon on the outbreak before the outbreak was dismissed. Like the
now.
last Pokemon I could fight, catch, whatever, before the outbreak could have been dismissed. That
And it happens
was,
to be a shiny.
and it was the shiny.
Oof.
It's not that it happened to be. It's that it was the shiny.
Yeah.
It took you the entire time, but it happened.
Yeah, eventually it happened. It was.
But like basically Jimmy throughout the entire breakout, where is it? Where are the sparkles? Where is it? Then at
I
the end,
spent
here I am.
it. I
Here's our Captain
spent
Sparkles.
4 to 5 hours shiny hunting that bitch. That was not fun. It was not. So let me look at who I could raid Shadow Legends for today. I have no idea if tomorrow I'll have a stream because you know Creamus family and all that. So let me see.
Obviously, next to Roomba, we'd probably end up talking about what we got for Christmas. Well,
Except me.
Jim, because as you mentioned, you open yours later.
Yep.
Maybe also
Uh,
accept maybe depends on if we do something here or not. To that extent.
no. Great.
Jimmy, I actually want to ask in advance to you. Do we have a Roomba next week?
Uh, depends on the date.
I mean,
We shall see.
It's New Year's Eve next week.
Probably I guess then, yeah, because it's not gonna be.
We shall see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But oh, I'm yawning.
Go sleep already.
It's only 8 p.m. It's only 9 p.m. What are you on about? You high? Anyway,
You should go sleep.
anyway, no, it's because I had a lack of oxygen. Anyway,
Oh no.
we're gonna stop the stream for today. As I said, I don't know if tomorrow we'll have a stream. I don't know if any of these days of the week we're gonna have a stream because my father needs me to help him out with things, and he said that he also might be on the afternoons, which is when I stream. So you know, not the best thing. But yeah, we'll have to
To
see.
be determined.
Yeah. So hopefully I will see you soon. We're gonna go raid demo. He's currently playing the Binding of Isaac, which is a game I've never really had an interest in, but he's a friend, so you know, we gotta support the smaller content creators. Anywho, I will see you all next time. Wherever that next time is, I don't know. Bye bye. Wait, hold on. I need to press the button to start the raid.
Oops.
Okay, totally. I was.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yep.
Thanks for the effort in chat by the by me. Thanks for
And
that. And
well then, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
see you around.